Our new sponsor, Dr. Squatch, is changing personal care with high-performance natural products that will leave you both smelling and feeling amazing. Soaps, hair care, deodorant, you name it, all made without the harsh chemicals I guarantee are in most of the products we've all been using. Dr. Squatch is transparent about their ingredients, and all of their products are at least 98% natural in origin. All of their scents are naturally derived and inspired by the great outdoors. My personal favorites are the Pine Tar Soap Bar and the Fresh Falls deodorant. Adding Dr. Squatch to my daily routine has my skin looking great, and guys, it helps me feel my best. I'm never going back to regular soap. They've also got a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you use Dr. Squatch and can honestly say their products are not the best you've ever used, they'll send you your money back. New customers can get 20% off on orders of $20 or more. Just click on the link in the description below. Be sure to use the code DSQChael at checkout. Kevin Holland. All right, guys, let's have a talk. Let's start with what happened. He's retired from the sport. How do we know that? He put it in writing. He tweeted it out. How do we know he wasn't joking? He sent another tweet out. Called doubling down. Called co-signing. Called he said it twice. All right, now, what is the psychology here? Fighting is a drug. Absolutely. Fame is a drug. Not the fight, as a matter of fact. The fame. That attention, you will seek it, you will crave it, you will do whatever you can to replace it. That's just true. And Kevin Holland had a ton of media attention. And then even serendipitously and negatively, he had more, right? Remember the post-fight or the pre-fight press conference that ends up getting canceled? Kevin has words with Darren Till. I know that slipped on the internet, and I saw that. Kevin apparently was kicked by Chimaev, which I do find interesting because Chimaev was so far overweight. You think that he would be hurting. I mean, I've been in that situation. The last thing you want to do is get into that, but really neither here nor there. He ends up with a much bigger fight on the card. He ends up in a co-main event feature. Here we are. Now, that all gets taken away. And post-fight depression is very real, including when you win. Including when you win. I'll just give you a great example from that same night. Nate Diaz has been busier on social media since that fight than he was leading in to that fight. And Nate Diaz gets paid on pay-per-view points. He's greatly incentivized and motivated to come and talk about that action, but he didn't do a lot of it. It was small. He quite literally, since the fight, has put out more messages than he did going into it. All right. But that just comes back to what I'm talking about, right? I mean, even when it's the winner, the depression is real. What do we know about life, guys? It's very simple, right? What goes up must come down. And you're pretty up there. When you're in front of the world, in front of all of you guys, and your social media is lighting up, and you're backed up with calls from reporters that want to do photo shoots or interviews or call-ins or sit-downs. Right? I mean, it's one of these things. You got all this, all your friends are checking in on you. Even mom and dad, even wife's treating you different. You got this match coming up, feeding you different, talking to you different, letting you get a little extra sleep, keeping things down in the morning, whatever it might be. But there's a lot of things in everybody's life. And when that goes away, even if you're the winner, there is a depression. It's true. Now, I knew this and I recognized it. I just thought it was only me. I never talked about it. Brian Stan is the one that came out and told me, of course you get depressed after a fight. Everybody does. Oh, really? Like, I thought depression was a word you don't admit to. You don't talk about it. Like, that's something private. That's something dark. Oh, I deal with depression. That's what I thought. And Brian Stan, one of the most macho men I've ever met, told me, no, post-fight depression, everybody goes through it. How's yours? Oh, okay. Let's talk. But as much and true as it is for the winner, okay, exemplify that for the loser, because there's other things that come with it. For the winner, you're excited. You can't wait to get that time back because the high is going to be even bigger. Your ranking goes up. Your placement on the card goes up. Your money goes up. The attention that should bring you goes up. The crowd gets louder. So you're excited. Let's get these 3 months of downtime the hell out of the way, get a new bout agreement signed so I can get back to this. Okay. The loser, everything's in reverse. You didn't make the same money, even that night. You were paid to show up, but you're also paid to win. You didn't become eligible for one of the beautiful bonuses that you hoped for. Your sponsor pay, the way it works in the organization, does not go up. Your ranking, of course, doesn't go up. And all of those phone calls that were calling in to want to interview you, phone's pretty quiet. Wife's not making you the special dinner anymore. She's not keeping it down in the morning, letting you get an extra 30 minutes. I mean, it's one of these things. So what do? I had a friend. Keep his name out of it. He actually watches this program. But I never met a liar like this in my life, and this was my friend. I would be at things, and he would then tell me other things happened. He was second in a tournament, and that night we went and had a party for his victory. I cornered him. And he told me at the pizza party over the root beer and the pepperoni slices that he won. I never met nobody's ever lied like this. But it was always something great, right? It was always something wonderful. He ran out of wonderful things to say. All of a sudden, he tells me that he was, the reason he hasn't talked to me in a while is he was in rehab for heroin addiction. Now, that's very serious stuff. It just wasn't true. This guy never touched heroin. This guy never went to rehab. He ran out of positive things to lie about. He could not stop lying. He's just a liar. So he just went in a negative direction. Really. I'm not joking about this. And you can apply that in some ways to what Kevin said. Kevin is not retired. And I have to tell you the problems. And I would have let this go. I'd have checked in on Kevin privately. Kev, what's going on? You talk? Want to get out of town for a little bit? Been something like this. He has other support, right? He doesn't need me. But I would have shown him that support. And I would have been there for him. And I got a room for him if he wants to get the hell out of town. I mean, all of it would have been real. I'm just sharing with you. You will get pulled out of the USADA pool. USADA has the legal right to pull him out of the pool. As a matter of fact, to push this a little bit further, if USADA showed up at Kevin's house today and he turned him away, he refused the test, that right there will get you a full suspension. There is nothing USADA will come down harder on you for with a faster hand of justice than refusing or running or hiding from a test. There is nothing. He could do that today and they would not be able to sanction him. Just so you understand. He could refuse the test, and when that gets before the commission, he'll simply bring up a time and date stamp on the tweet, said I retired. That's legal. That would work. Now, USADA doesn't act like this, right? USADA is extremely reasonable. I mean, if there's anything I've got to give those guys credit for, they're good at what they do, but they are reasonable when you come and deal with him. He's not out of the pool. He's not going to be retired. Dana doesn't have to go through some kind of a panic. The matchmakers don't have to get new paperwork. Kirk Hendrick and Lawrence are getting called right now for legal advice. I'm just sharing with you, they could. And this got tested. When I tell you how easy, we're having a document classification right now. And our former president is saying I can declassify those documents even in my mind. Well, the Supreme Court ruled on that. And I only bring that to you because it's a recent example. And that can be done. Conor McGregor went on UFC Tonight. I used to host that show with Kenny Florian. Great fun over there. He retired. Now, a lot of guys were doing it then. This is before Conor was like the creative genius he is now. This was back when he was more of like a copycat genius. He would steal other people's ideas, but then he would perform it better than they would, make it his own. Did that with the Billy Strut, right? And then admitted to it. I stole that from Vince McMahon. But Conor got all the credit. Conor came out and retired. A lot of guys were doing. Jose Aldo was to Anderson Silva. Every time you talked to him, he's going to retire. I mean, that was like a thing. But Conor came out and retired. Dana called in and came over the top and said, no, he's not. He does not mean that. And the reason I'm here to correct it is that could pull him from the USADA pool, which re-putting him in the pool comes with a whole nother set of problems. Now, this isn't what's happening to Kevin. I'm just sharing with you guys that while this is a ploy for attention, and while this is funny, you guys used to do this when you were children too. Oh, I'm not very good at this. Or you color something in class, and your classmates want to see you go, it's not very good when you know it's awesome. But all you wanted them to tell you what a great job you did. So you say, oh, it's not very good. And they go, oh my God, it's the best one in the room. Hey, we've all done it. But Kevin's doing it now. This is for you guys to reach out to him and tell him, no, hey, we still want you. Everything's still good. We got fights for you. We got ideas for you. You were just a co-main event. You stepped in on short notice, different weight class, different opponent. We don't hold this against you. And in all fairness, Kevin Holland got caught in one position, and Kevin Holland only has one weakness. It's not submissions. That was just right. How do you get out of that submission? Don't get put in it. There are coaches that will tell you that. There's a move in wrestling called the head and arm. How do you stop a head and arm? It's what you will learn on your first day of wrestling. If you don't know how to wrestle and you and a kid go grab each other, you'll try a head and arm on him and he'll try one on you. However, if you hit it in the Olympic finals, you're going to get a pin and be Olympic champion. It's one of these moves that you can't get out. How do I stop a head and arm? Don't get thrown in it. How do I stop a Darce or an Anaconda? Don't get put in it. And I only share that with you because Kevin Holland's performance was not bad. As a matter of fact, Kevin Holland's one and only weakness is that he does not resist when people come to take him down. He doesn't resist. He cooperates. He was a son of a gun to take down in that fight. He went down. He came back up to his feet. He hit a roll. He was scrambling again. Now Chimaev stayed right with him. That was a good, solid part of the match that also showed us Kevin Holland's better. Kevin Holland has gotten better. He's made adjustments. I mean, in all fairness, there was a real positive done in that match, even if you're only looking at 25 seconds of action. Kevin did not go get his ass kicked. He didn't get thrown down. He didn't get handled. He didn't get tired. He didn't give up. He didn't do any of these things. He got caught in one position. So that's the good news, but Kevin would like you guys to go in there and tell him that. That's what this ploy is. You got to go along with it. I'm covering for him. You think I'm teasing him over here? Good relationship with Kevin Holland. I'm covering him. I don't want him pulled out of the pool. Sada literally has that right. I told you the story of Conor McGregor with Dana coming over the back. Let me just tell you one more. Nick Diaz went to Twitter and retired. USADA came to test him. Nick wasn't there. Now, if you miss 3, okay, if I see you face to face and I run, if I see you face to face and I hide, I'm done. They will throw the book at you like you've never seen. But if I don't see you, if you come to the door and I duck down, we don't see each other, then it's called a whereabouts violation. You get 3 of those in a year. 3 violations in 1 year, and you will be suspended, considered a fail. And a number of people have gone through it. Harry Lester in the world of wrestling just got off of one. Nick Diaz had 3 violations. They came down on him. Nick said, I didn't fill out my whereabouts, and I wasn't where about you thought I was. Because I don't owe you that info. I don't owe you that info because I'm not part of your pool. I'm not part of your pool because I retired. As a matter of fact, it's right here. Nick won. Nick won. So this isn't a joke. It's very real. And these are off the top of my head. But I'm sharing with you when you think USADA's going to come down on. Why would they ever do that? Well, there's good reason to. They put their time and money and resources. It got tested all the way to trial, and they lost because the guy said that he was retired. Just sharing with you the whole story. That's the psychology. Fame is a drug. Kevin Holland will be back.